I'm Jessica Anne Pressler, and you've tuned into Your Traitor Within, a podcast that exposes the brutal truths of healing, self-discovery, and breaking free from relentless patterns of self-sabotage. Pinkal is a marriage and family therapist based in Orange County, California, where she specializes in helping couples build emotionally secure marriages within traditional family systems. Her work is rooted in a deep belief that emotional intelligence isn't just a skill, it's a foundation of every meaningful relationship we have. And if that weren't enough, she hosts her own powerful podcast, What's the Big Deal? If she does something I deeply respect, she takes the stigma out of mental health by pairing real, raw, vulnerable stories with the neuroscience that helps us understand why we are the way we are. One stigma, one story at a time. She is someone who clearly understands that the patterns we carry don't just affect us, they ripple outward into our marriages, our families, and the generations that come after us. Today, Pinkal is going to pull back the curtain and share her own Traitor Within story and so much more. Welcome to Your Traitor Within.
Thank you so much, Jessica. This is wonderful. And I went through all your episode, not all of them, most of them, let me keep it that way. And it gives me a deeper insight of how we befriend somebody, our inner voice. In fact, I was working on a reel which talked about two voices in our head and how they influence our present day, and that has so much of control over the decisions and the way we behave and the way we interact with our different relationships. So it's not about them, it's about us.
Right. And it's such an important piece because we can't change another person, right? But we can
Absolutely.
learn about ourselves, which is what the whole Traitor Within concept is. It's a tool to learn about ourselves so we can make a difference in how we show up for us for ourselves, really, and in relationships in the world, but it really is for ourselves.
Right. So I actually enjoyed the name Traitor Within because it's such a wonderful concept of understanding that your evil, your demon is within you. It's not outside. And you just need that essence of awareness to identify um, what the demon is like what does it look like, and what is it trying to make you do. And once you understand that pattern, imagine how easy it is to break it. So my whole concept with what's the big deal is like, we always complain about others, how their behaviors are with us, and then we respond accordingly. But imagine if we have this insight about our own demons and our own way, our own traitors, as you say, how easy it is to control ourselves. We want to control others. We want to change others. And we get irritated, frustrated because they don't change. But when
Right.
it comes to ourselves, is it that easy?
Right. And so, as you know, as a therapist, and I'm sure you obviously know this, that if you change yourself, then the dynamic with other people can change. And if it can't, maybe you shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Oh my
You
God,
know?
that's true. Well said. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your Traitor Within.
My traitor within. Okay, this is quite interesting. I've been pondering on it, and I really did not want to prepare and kind of just come, with this. Let's see how it comes. And what happened this morning, I had this therapy session, and that's where I really identified my traitor within. To be very honest, I'm like, I was preparing like, okay, I'm going to talk about the reward stuff, and I'm going to talk about this. But I think what importantly I'm going to talk about in what I learned, like in every fight that my parents had, in
Mhm.
every conflict that my parents had, they never spoke. There was this a sense of stonewalling,
Mm, interesting.
right? So
Hmm.
in every fight, because they never spoke, I learned not to speak up.
Hmm.
And that was not the problem. I learned that not speaking up is being respectful.
Hmm.
I learned that not speaking up is being in control of. And at the same time, I learned that that gives you a little bit of power over someone,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So, at the end of the day, what happened is the stonewalling became my friend,
Mm-hmm.
which turned out to be my traitor.
Mm-hmm. Because
Wait,
as you know, it's formed in childhood, and it's your friend in childhood. It's what keeps you feeling safe. It what's if being in control, it keeps you feeling safe. Whatever it is. So you take that which worked in your childhood to your adult relationships as an example, and then it doesn't work anymore.
yeah, because you know why I befriended that stonewalling and avoidance, not just because I saw my parents doing that. Let me tell you that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because of that, but when I applied that in my own relationships, in
Mm-hmm.
my own, like, little kid, like, I was like, what, 10, 11, 12-year old, when I started understanding what how to react and what to react when a conflict happens. And this is something that I picked up because I always saw when my parents got into a conflict, they literally avoided it. And there was this curfew environment in the family where we come back from school, and uh, I see the environment change in the family, which is like, okay, mom's not talking to dad, dad's not talking to mom, so there is something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that curfew goes on for about 6 to 7 days. Of course, there could be several reasons, and I don't blame them for that. Maybe they did not want to fight in front of the kid, and they didn't want to mess up the environment, or maybe they just wanted to show the power control, who comes and who says sorry first, or there was this essence of ego. I have no idea what was going on, or both of them were avoidant at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I learned is this is the way that things get resolved. Don't talk for 5 to 6 days, then one
Mm-hmm.
person will go, and then I don't even know magically how things get resolved. One fine day I come back from school and everything is normal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I felt, I learned two things: that couple conflicts be must be in closed doors. They're not supposed to get out of that room. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
love in four doors,
Mm-hmm.
you fight in four doors.
Interesting.
Don't take it out.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always put up that pleaser face,
Mm-hmm.
and she always made sure that we were still comforted. I was still comforted. My dad was still comforted, even though the element was not like about, there was this element of stonewalling, but she still played her part of, nurturing both me and my father. And at the same time, my dad avoided, and eventually turned out to be, I guess, my mom went to her, goes to him, and all of that. So, anyways, what I learned is when I applied this in my own conflicts or in my own life, I found that I started winning the fights.
Like you said before, it gave you some control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The In every fight I won because I did not have to speak up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I learned was, okay, this is giving me control. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to show my vulnerability,
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
right? And things are turning around for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't stay my friend for a long time.
All right. So when did you first realize that it wasn't good for you anymore?
I guess I took it long way. Like, I took it long way into my life. Let me tell you this. I got married and it got into the present couple dynamics that I have.
Mm-hmm.
With, of course, going to school and understanding psychology and all of that, it was not just like the traitor became so powerful to control my relationship with my spouse, that I felt, again, applying that to get control over the situation, to make my point right, to get the control and the power and the ego. And I never learned to say sorry and all of that. And I realized that I'm not going to be the perfect one.
Mm-hmm.
And avoiding is not going to help me. Stonewalling is not going to help me. It's not healthy, because all it's doing is making me look weak, making me look scared of
Mm-hmm.
facing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not helping me.
So
Absolutely not.
did you take that? insight and make changes?
I did. I did. Oftentimes the traitor peek out. It still peeks out. But I
Mhm.
guess what happens is I just try to put that, I just try to remind myself that this is not healthy. I
Mhm.
don't need to, show that I have power over something. I need to
Mhm.
control myself versus having power over someone else. So then
Mhm.
I just shove it down and I'm like, okay, stonewalling is not going to help you. This is not what it is. We communicate to uh, comprehend better.
Mhm.
So,
Well, when each person understands each other's triggers or each other's traders,
yeah,
then you realize it's not as much about the other person. It's about,
absolutely.
right, because you come with your stuff.
Yeah, we all come with our stuff,
Right.
right? So at that point, like I see, I don't blame my parents. I don't blame myself for any of this,
Hmm.
right? Because my dad is an avoidant. He came from an environment. He comes from that family of origin where, he was the youngest child. He was pampered. He never learned to show emotions, or he never learned to express emotions. His needs were met without even him asking for it because he was a younger child. So he comes from that avoidant environment. My mom was also an avoidant, and avoidant.
It's
Uh,
hard.
yeah, it's very hard.
No
But
one's pulling. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, but if we think about the traditional family systems, how we're brought up in the collectivist system,
Hmm.
a women cannot stay or go far away being avoidant.
Hmm.
They're taught to please,
Hmm. Yes.
right? So
Yep.
maybe pleaser was not her trait, but she acquired it.
Hmm.
When she acquired it, the dynamics that I saw growing up was a classic avoider pleaser dynamics.
Hmm. Not uncommon, by the way, as you
Not
know,
uncommon.
as a therapist, a lot of couples are like that.
Yeah. And that I think most of the couples are that. I
Mhm.
think they just I think my mom feared of rejection. So she wanted to please more, even though her
Mhm.
core trait was avoiding. So,
Mhm.
so that is the real reason why the stonewalling actually happened. When I dissected their relationship
Mhm.
later on, that if she was a pleaser and if he was an avoidant, then the stonewalling wouldn't happen.
Right, because she would be doing everything she could to please him. She would be like anything, twisting herself in a pretzel in order to.
Right,
Right.
right. But it happened because her core trait was avoider,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an acquired pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
So her first reaction, fight, flight, or freeze, right? Her first reaction was flight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she even, taught me during like growing up, like forget
Mm-hmm.
about it. Let
Mm-hmm.
go. Don't worry about it. Bye.
Right, so teaching you to be an avoidant,
She taught
trying
me
to,
to
because
avoid.
it's what she knew. I think it's very important that when we talk about this and we talk about the traitor, it's not to shame someone, it's not to blame someone, it's just about understanding because you
It's
can't
just about
make the
understanding.
right, because you can't make the changes if you don't know what you're dealing with.
Absolutely. And I think that is my core uh, you know my core crux of when I'm building this relational language. People should understand other person's language. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
communicate to somebody in the language that you know.
Mm-hmm.
You really want a person to understand what you're saying, you need to communicate in the language that they understand. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't start talking in Hindi and expect and hope that you would understand. I'm not sure if you know Hindi, but I'm just saying.
No, but I know your point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I kind of just want people to understand that none of this is your fault, or none of these traits are bad. They all come with their pros and cons. We did not choose to be one. Neither our parents chose to be that.
Right.
It's just that we don't have control over our hair, nose, eyes, and looks. We don't have control over what we are getting from this imprints that we from
Mhm.
our contextual factor, the way we grow up. But
Mhm.
what we have control over is today to get the awareness of that pattern and break that conflict cycle, break that little thing that is that traitor that you have grown up with. Just break it.
Right. And if you have, and the whole thing about intergenerational trauma, if you have, as you learn certain things from your parents, if you are having children or anyone is having children, if you break it, then you can change that. You could crack the code or crack.
Yeah, I mean, we have to, because see what happens, Jessica, is in Indian families, let me tell you this,
Coming.
silence is actually praised. If you keep quiet, is
Hmm.
praised.
Hmm.
It's validated. So emotional expression basically is labeled as drama.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, stop your drama, just shut up.
Hmm.
It goes in that way. So what happens is, if you want to show somebody that you're well behaved, you embrace silence.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that just takes away the entire essence of your identity. So most of us go through this identity crisis. We really don't know what is going on.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it does. It takes away. No one knows who you are. No one.
Even we don't know
Yeah,
who we
because
are, because we're
because
always
we
performing.
learn, right? We're, yes, and you learn about your who you are through your relationships with other people, through speaking out loud and communicating and listening and
And therefore, this traitor within you
hmm
protects you.
hmm yes.
It protects you because when you are yourself, when you're not validated to be yourself, this
Mhm.
traitor is the only one who's standing with you, within you, and protecting you. So when that traitor is protecting you, you grow up with the traitor. Like me, I grew up with stonewalling because it was protecting me. It was
Right.
protecting me over conflict. It was making me win. It was giving me power.
Mm-hmm.
I was avoiding shame.
Hmm.
It was helping me to avoid shame too, as you said. Like, it made me feel shameful. It helped me avoid shame. It helped me avoid my vulnerabilities. I think it was like a very nice Disneyland. The avoidance land was making
Yeah.
me
Right.
so strong and
Hmm.
powerful.
Hmm. Yeah. Until it didn't.
Until it didn't it actually messed up. So I kind of just always like, why don't you communicate? Let just I got that a lot in my relationship. Like, why don't
Mm-hmm.
you tell me what you really want? I'm there for you, and I am here thinking in my head, why don't you get it what I want?
Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. So again, when you crack the code, um, and you said sometimes your trader will, because I always say the trader doesn't go away forever. It necessarily, if you're lucky, it does. But you can kind of put it in your pocket or in the garage or in the drawer.
That's
Sometimes,
interesting.
however you visualize it, sometimes it will peek its little head out and say, "Wait, I'm going to come help you again," and then you're going to say, "No, I got it."
Yeah.
You'll feel it's coming. You'll hear the voice. You'll feel your body acting a certain way, and
Mhm.
you'll say, "You know what? This doesn't work for me here. Thank you. I know you mean well. You've protected me in the past. I want you to have compassion for the traitor.
Mhm.
It definitely comes with good, well intentions.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
not doing a job that's helpful."
Yeah, I mean, I think there are ways to manage your traitors. What
Yeah.
I've learned is, I think fear of losing is one feeling or one thought that can help you, which helped me. Let me tell you that it helped me to to just make my traitor, like, calm down, slow down, because what was more important to me was fear
Mm,
of losing my partner, fear of hurting them, fear of emotionally damaging them, because that
mhm,
was a priority for me. So
mhm,
when I let go of my friend,
mhm,
because that point, that was my friend, it was not
mhm.
my traitor.
Yes.
So I had to choose between fear of losing my spouse versus fear of losing this imaginary friend that I was dwelling within me, who helped me so long. But
Mhm, mhm,
the choice, and I didn't even know that that was my friend.
mhm,
Trust me, at that point, it was just about the behavior. Should I choose this behavior
mhm,
versus my partner?
mhm, mhm. Because sometimes it does. It comes down to that, right?
Yeah.
You will lose your partner eventually if that's where it.
Just crush your ego. I felt like I was crushing my ego when I had to get out of, like, when I had to tell myself
Mhm,
that it's okay, you can go and communicate. You don't always have to wait for somebody to come to you, apologize, and then you take that time and they kind of just go all around. I wanted to connect, not that I did not want to, but I
mhm.
wanted to have them take the first step to connect with me.
And Interesting.
And then I took my time for
Mm,
them to persuade me. So now I'm getting that control.
Oh,
I'm
for
getting
sure.
power. I'm
Absolutely.
winning.
hmm did that feel safe for you? Safer?
It did. I
hmm
felt important.
Was it scary then to give that up a little bit?
It was extremely scary. I felt like I won't be valued.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm
hmm
I'm giving up my value. You know, the accessibility, the
hmm
more you're accessible,
hmm
you lose your value. That is something
You
that
think,
was,
right? And it takes a lot of trust for the other person to have trust in that person
yeah.
to actually.
And
hmm
that's a very good point, actually, Jessica, that the trust, when you start trusting your partner, I'm just talking about couples relationship, like when you start trusting your partner, you don't value about accessibility as much. You want to be accessible.
hmm hmm Right.
If you're not accessible, that's when the emotional disconnect happens.
hmm
I was doing other way around. My traitor was making me do something which was other way around. Like I was not accessible, emotionally accessible to my partner.
hmm hmm And in your situation, and you don't have to answer,
Yeah.
I assume it sounds like your husband stood by you though, and was willing to work
Work.
through that.
Yeah. 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 So it did. I mean, it required a lot of communication because he's a pleaser
Okay.
and I'm an avoider, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So again, see, here's the thing. Again, coming from traditional family system, what happens is your partner always want to see you like their mother,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And a daughter or your wife always want to be not be like their mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I can see
So
that. hmm
husband is expecting the wife to be like their mother who was sacrificing and all of that. But this girl have seen the mother go through everything. So one thing that they don't want to be is like their
Be
mother.
like their mother, right?
Right. So
Interesting.
therefore, if I think about from that standpoint, I was an avoider, he was a pleaser. He
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to please me, he wanted to make me happy, and I was getting that power control because my mom never had that power control. So that
Mm-hmm.
was helping me, that was making me feel safe, that was making me feel seen and heard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So of course it was scary to let go of that.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think he stood by because
Mm-hmm.
it required a lot of communication. It required a lot of dissecting of patterns.
Mm-hmm.
We sat and dissected, like, of course, like being a therapist, you start understanding a little bit more in depth and in details of what goes
Mm-hmm.
beyond all of that. And then we just communicated already, reading a lot of books and kind of, sitting with him and talking, what this happened. I read this. Oh, this is what is happening. And slowly that guard started like falling down. Like I started pushing my own limitations. I was no longer. One thing actually, Jessica, helped me while I'm thinking this is I thought being vulnerable was my weakness,
Okay. That makes sense for what you said earlier. Yes.
right?
Yes.
But then I realized that was my biggest strength.
Mm-hmm.
It actually took off a lot of stress, a lot of, it took off a lot of the baggages that I was carrying of
Well,
it.
you didn't have to perform anymore.
I
You could
didn't have to
just be
perform.
you. You could
Yeah.
just be.
And then that's where why I learned to perform is again from my upbringing, as I think we talked earlier, because I was raised on this reward uh, parenting system. Like you do this and you get this. And my only way of getting that is pleasing my parents. So, although raised in an avoider family, I was still a pleaser. But my validation, like I always wanted to get validation from my parents because
Mm-hmm.
they always put me out as a trophy child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, when here, that's when I learned that being vulnerable was not right for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was my weakness. If I be vulnerable, I'm showing my weakness. So what I learned is like, no, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot be vulnerable. in the relationship, after all the awareness, I learned that it is okay to be vulnerable. That became my biggest strength. So
Mm-hmm.
one, like the thumb rule that I created for myself to shush my traitor was,
Mm-hmm.
you feel anything, go run to your husband and talk about it. Immediately go. If you feel he's done something, or if you feel that someone else have done something to you, or if you feel like, you yourself is going through some confusion, understand, identify the feeling. It's okay, you cannot be perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go
Right.
and talk about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
go and talk about it, take the responsibility off my shoulder, put it on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me feel okay, I said everything, now I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing, right? And and it's I love that he is who he is too, because we don't all have husbands. Like not everyone has that, right?
Yeah.
That understanding husband.
And I feel sometimes it's too much on him too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have that empathy
Mm-hmm.
towards him. So sometimes I do take, like, hold my feet, like, okay, you know what, not a right time. And I think about it. So I think that balance is needed where you actually understand what fuels him.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be a person that
Mm-hmm.
always fuels him to be available for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's not fueled emotionally, he's not going to be available for you.
Well, you're taking care of him, he's taking care of you, you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care, right?
I think that's the salsa. That's the relational intelligence, or that's
I
the relational language that if we learn, it's magical, Jessica. If we just have to crack that code and learn.
yes. I love that you said the salsa, the dance, I think that's beautifully said. I love because I can imagine it.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to unpack the patterns and we just have to normalize it. It's
Hmm.
not bad. Like, we call silence as our strength, but we just need to make those those cannot be the survival strategies
Hmm.
that we inherit, right?
Hmm.
We just have to come up with a little bit more maturity in handling relationship,
Right.
and that comes with self awareness,
Yes, I agreed.
empathy,
Hmm.
and not just communication. Because I see this a lot. I see a lot of couples in my therapy sessions and they're like, but we communicate. I tell him everything, but I'm like, does that person even comprehend what you're trying to communicate?
Hmm. So how do you help them communicate? How do you help them speak in a language, as you said, the other person's going to understand?
So part one is start with who you are.
Hmm.
With the classic complaint, Jessica, I get it, we are never on the same page.
Hmm.
And I'm like, do you even know what page number you are at to guide them to come on that page number?
Hmm.
Because this person is walking towards you. You're walking. You guys are making all those attempts, all those, Instagram reel 5 steps to make your relationship better, healing stuff. You're doing all of that. But it's like, are you walking towards each other? Is that what this person really needs? Are you giving them what they need? Or are you just following the 10 steps protocol?
Hmm.
So, first, identify who you are, identify your pattern, identify what you need, what I differentiate between your need, want, and desires.
Hmm.
The hierarchy. The need is something that you want to meet, then want, and then desire. And then that's how I tell both of them, like, do your homework, sit with yourself first, identify your, as you say, traitor, identify your demons,
Hmm.
identify that, and then understand what page number you are.
Hmm.
Tell them, I'm on page number 9.
Hmm.
You're on page number 29. I
Hmm.
think a good part where we can meet together is this page number 19.
Hmm. Right. Hmm.
And now, what does this page number 19 look like for both of us?
Hmm.
Let's work together, design that page so we are motivated to walk towards that page.
Hmm.
If there is no motivation, there is nothing.
And I love how you do that because and this I'm not trying not to be sexist, but sometimes a therapist needs to make sure that a man can feel like they're doing something, You know what I
Yes.
mean? So when you do it that way, I can see how a man can say, I got this now. Now I understand. I have a job, not a job, but I have something I have to do. I can understand, I can visualize it. I could,
Yes. And I also get people say this a lot. Um, I'm communicating. And I kind of just I like to make them arrive to a conclusion. I'm just going to throw one example. Okay, I
yeah,
had this
that's
one
fine.
session yesterday, and they were like, "Okay, I communicate. We communicate. Everything is fine, but this person doesn't get it, and all of that." So I just told them like, you know what, you guys are right now like this.
Hmm.
This is you, and this is her, and you guys are like this. A
Hmm.
relationship is not like this. A relationship is supposed to be like this. We use the phrases, like we use this phrase a lot, like we fill each other's gap. But do we really?
Right.
To start with this, I want you to draw a palm and
Hmm.
write your strengths. These are your strengths, these are your weakness. Write your strength and your weakness. I gave them 5 minutes. They got this exercise.
Hmm.
5 minutes after, I told them, like, okay, show me your what you've written, show me your palm.
Hmm.
This is very interesting.
Hmm.
So the husband had written pointers. There was no palm drawn. The pointers of his five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strengths and
Hmm.
5 weaknesses.
Hmm.
The wife had drawn a palm, but
Hmm.
she did not have enough space. So she put her strength, weakness, strength, weakness, strength, weakness, strength, weakness.
Hmm.
So I told him, well, I asked you, so I told the husband, like, I asked you to draw the palm. Where's your palm? And before even I complete, he immediately went defending, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that first part that you asked me to draw palm. So I just wrote like 5 strengths and 4 weaknesses. And I'm like, okay, 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 I'm not going there. And then I asked wife, like, why didn't you write your strength and weaknesses on your fingers? It's like,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't get it. I just thought that I'm supposed to write it like this. So I'm
Hmm.
like, and both of them went into their own defense of how they did not do the exercise
Hmm.
well. Maybe one did not hear it well, one did not understand it well. So I said, I let them do that. I let them do their salsa just to get
Hmm.
their pattern. And then I told them it was not your fault, actually. It was my fault. It's like, "Well, no, no, no. Why do you think it was your fault?" I'm like, it was my fault because I did not instructed or I did not communicate my instructions well enough for you to exactly do what I want you to do. I
Hmm.
did. Could I have said, draw a palm, on each fingers, I want you to write your strength, and the gaps that you find in between the finger, write your weakness.
Hmm.
Would you have done this right? And I could have asked you, do you understand what the exercise is like? And when you would have repeated that back to me, I would have said that this is not the way I want it this way.
Hmm.
Then would you have done the exercise right? And they're like, yes, we
Hmm.
would have. I'm like, this is what your relationship is like.
Yeah, it's brilliant because you're modeling, but you're modeling the not modeling. You know what I mean? Like it's brilliant, and then it's done in a way that isn't. You're not putting them down. You're not putting, or you're just teaching.
And sometimes I think it's just so important for them, being a couples therapist, I think it's very important for them to understand that I'm not biased.
Yes, very important because one time when one person feels that way, then it doesn't work
It's
anymore.
done. My relationship with them is ruptured.
That's why I don't know. I mean, I don't. I hopefully, I don't know if you do this or not, but I always felt that you can see an individual. You can have some individual sessions if both sides have the same amount, but you never should see one party as an individual and then do couple work.
No,
I always put it out to another therapist when I was doing.
abs- yeah, yep,
You
yep,
you lose that. You lose that what you're just talking about when you do.
yeah. So I think if they arrive to their conclusions,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes life easy
Mm-hmm.
for me and for them. So that she's like, now I get it." So if I it was all about he, the moment I take his side, she feels she offended, or she'll start weeping and crying. Or the moment I take her side, I am a female. Of course, I'm going to take her side, and I'm going to fight. So he's going to get
Well,
offended.
you're already potentially his view already could be defensive just because you're a female coming in without even saying hello. You
Yes,
have to always work against that a little bit because
yes,
they're always going to
yes.
feel. So, what do you do if you have one person who is a narcissist who's trying to manipulate the situation, the couples therapy?
That happens a lot, and I think thanks to my father for this.
Okay, what what did he do?
I, I mean, it's such an interesting understanding that I have from my father because he's also a narcissist,
Mhm.
uh, and it took me time to make my mom understand how to deal with narcissist. And people always think they see narcissism, like they look down to narcissism, and I
Mhm.
say like they are equally getting bothered, they're in trouble. It's just like any other disorders. It is the itch and ache in their own head until they get to where they are. So
I just did a very quick video. I just put it in stories, and that is a narcissist has a traitor within. Their traitor within is formed in childhood. It comes out, it needs to be safe. It comes out of trauma. They form this persona. The only major issue or difference is that they have a traitor within, but they also harm other people. It's not
they,
just self-harm, which is
Mhm.
what a traitor can do. It's the defense is harming other people in their lives.
And unintentionally, let me tell you that.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're well. If you're a malignant narcissist or a sociopath with narciss, that's different.
That's a
People
different
who
thing.
have some traits, they don't no, they believe they're delusional. They believe what they. So I agree that it's not.
I see it in a way, especially if I look at my father. Like if you put him on the cliff, like if you think about anybody, not just somebody like somebody who is going through narcissism. Sorry. Okay. So if I put my father on the cliff,
Hmm.
is he going to jump or protect himself if there is nobody to hold him?
Protect himself.
And while protecting himself, he that will be his primary goal, his flight or flight.
Hmm.
And then he doesn't understand, or he wouldn't understand who I am hurting, damaging. It's all unintentional because his primary goal is to protect him.
Hmm. Like all of us.
Unless he
Right.
has trust and confidence that if he takes that leap of faith, somebody is waiting there to hold him. That is what I do in my session.
Hmm.
When I find they're narcissist, I cannot point it out immediately because no matter what I tell them, it's not gonna, it's unless I give them that safety net, unless I show them that I'm right there,
Hmm.
jump. It's okay. It's
Hmm.
okay to be in control of. It's okay that you're doing this because you're protecting yourself. It's
Right.
okay, I'll hold you.
Well, part of the thing about narcissism is the lack of insight.
The lack of insight.
The
Yeah.
lack of insight. They don't,
Yeah. And it's very difficult to bring them. I mean, it's great if somebody comes from a standpoint, like it's taking me a while to explain, like even to open that Pandora's box to my father, like, you know what, you're going through something like this. But
Hmm.
it took me a while to explain my mom because she
Hmm.
always used to complain, like, your dad does this, your dad does that. But at the same time, she would never put me, like, she would never tell me that your dad is bad. She would just complain about her stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
She would never complain. She would never say that. She would always say, your dad is like a coconut. He's hard from outside and soft from inside.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, because they do care.
Hmm.
But I think they just go a lot into their own grandiosity, validating their own points and be in control of.
Hmm. Well, it's a defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism, absolutely. But at the same time, I think when I explain to my mom, like, you know what, you cannot, he feels so safe with you that he shows you his trait the most with you. He's like,
Hmm.
if he's like that, why is he not like that in front of other people? Because he doesn't find himself in a safe environment to show his traits outside.
I think that is something though that's common in relationships with the narcissist because many times they don't show their true colors to the outside world. And why are they hurting me, or why are they saying things that are, you know, it's just can be very difficult because they don't get necessarily the support from
Yeah,
the outside
safety
world.
net, right? Yeah. So I told my mom the way to deal with him is like you become the safety net. If in the moment, if he wants to get your support, because that's his always coming, why don't you support me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are you always against me? I'm like, you be in support of him.
Mm-hmm.
You be with him. Once once you pacify him in that moment, in that episode where his traits shines the most, like
Mm-hmm.
once you pacify him, once you exp- are all you have to do is validate, validate, validate.
Right.
But
I.
you get a point where you will get your insert. Wait for that point, and
Mhm.
that's when you insert, because at that point they trust you. They've already jumped
Mhm.
that cliff. All you got to do is hold them by very subtly putting a thought in their mind.
It takes a lot of work to be with a narcissist and to keep them, not acting out. It means that you are committed to potentially, walking on eggshells,
Yep.
and always working to keep the peace. But it's
Yep.
possible. It is absolutely possible to do
Yep.
because
Yep.
you once you understand
Yep.
how they work, how they're.
I mean, I just tell him, like, I just tell my mom, it's hard. What you're going through is rough. It's hard. You have, would you have left him if he would have had any other uh, disorders?
Hmm. Yeah, I get your point. Hmm.
And she's like, no, I would have taken care of him. I'm like, think it from a disorder point of view. The
Hmm.
moment you get triggered, you got to think that he's not acting, his disorders are acting. So all you got to do is just back off for a little bit.
Hmm.
Just let him be. Just remember your own words when you say that he's like a coconut, hard from outside, soft from inside. He will come around, give him some time, he'll pacify, he'll get it. But in that moment, all he needs is your support. If you try to give him a solution that he's not looking for or advise him that,
It also, when you do that too, I don't know your father, so can make he could potentially make him feel shame. Like,
yes,
why are you, he's not the man get making,
yep,
now you're telling him the solution and now you're.
yep, yep. And that is why he never learned to apologize because it was the ego loss.
Mhm, yeah,
And
understand.
again, it comes from traditional family. That's how they learn to. Like it just causes some sort of distance.
Mhm,
And he feels like when you lose ego, you lose respect.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
So
So most of your clients come from a traditional family. Is that what?
I think I would say a 50-50.
Okay.
A
Hmm.
50-50. Yeah. And it's so different to deal with both. Like when I'm seeing a traditional family system, they just want you to like, this is the patient, tell her to do this.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so just enlighten me a little bit because we talked a little bit about this when we were speaking when we first met, and that is what goes on in India and in regard to mental health, or in regard, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So what's the big deal is about that? We I wanted to start like okay. So when I went to India, um, there was no intentions of me. I just went for fun like 2 years ago, and I saw that when people started recognizing me as a therapist, they pulled me in the corner and they started talking about, hey, you know what? I'm going through this, or this is what is going on, or this is something that is happening in my family and stuff like that. So I'm like, well, why don't you go to a therapist? Oh, no, no. Yeah, we went to a doctor and they gave some medications and they did this and that. And I'm like, okay, why didn't you go to a therapist? So I went on Google search. I started looking for stuff like who is a therapist in this town? And to my surprise, there was no therapist. There's no therapist. There's a psychiatrist. So now if you're depressed, which you don't even know, if you're
Medication.
sad, you
Hmm.
go to a doctor. And that comes like I think that just comes from a point where you're literally showing symptoms like chronic major depressive disorders, where you've literally stopped coming out of the house, like that level, like severe
Hmm.
level. So
Hmm.
that's when you take a person to a doctor, and
Hmm.
the doctor will be like, okay, what are the symptoms? Of course, the psychiatrist. So, okay, I'm not getting sleep. This person is not eating. Da 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 da. Okay. Classic depression. So what do we do? Okay, we're gonna give them sleep medication. We're gonna give them um, what do you call food medication so that they can start getting hungry and they can start eating. If they're hyper, then we should give them this medication. If they're anxious, we just give them anti-anxiety and all of that. So they
Mm-hmm.
just kind of play around with medication to a point where people are so chemically controlled that they don't understand that there was no need of chemicals at the first place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
So when I started learning this, I started doing a little bit of more research, and that's when I come came to know that there is a dire need of this understanding that mental health is an important part of your well-being. There
Mm-hmm.
is nothing wrong in saying that I don't feel well today.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship is going through a hard and rough phase, but we want to work it out. It doesn't matter what other people are thinking, but it's a very hard nut to crack because everyone thinks that what will other person think?
Mm-hmm.
So everything happens in closed doors. We're taught to be silent,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just try to ruminate and we make it we I think the awareness is not that if you're not mentally well, you're
Mm-hmm.
not healthy. That awareness is missing. Everything starts from here. If this is happy, like if you want to have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy relationship, a healthy way of functioning, your this have to be good. Like this have to be healthy, cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
So initially what happened is when I started using the word mental health, that itself was rejected.
Interesting.
Like you're talking about mental health, a very big word. You can't talk about that. It's a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about therapy. No, no, no. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, you know what? We need to open a platform where people can destigmatize. Like, let's just destigmatize. Let's just make it normal. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to ask for help. We all need help. Everyone has a routine. Everyone comes from a different family of origin. But if I start telling them it's okay, then it doesn't land well. That this is go to therapy doesn't land well. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be this whole awareness
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. We come from a different family of origin. We're going to behave in different ways. Everyone does that. It happens in everyone's family. We just need a right way to deal with it, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Taking away the shame, taking away the.
yeah, take away the shame. And even if there is a shame, just validate that shame. It has to be a very slow process. It has to go, it has to be very gentle. You cannot tell them that, even in my therapy, like I cannot tell them that you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very Western concept. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have to do it. The other day I just posted something, control alter delete, and when I said like in life hack is three: control alter delete. Control yourself and your emotions, alter the situations that are giving you troubles, and delete people who are toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a message on that. Like, is it okay to delete somebody who are your close relatives? What if they are your parents?
Yeah.
So we have to navigate between the cultural stereotypes that has grown in the culture. So we cannot just say it's okay to be not okay. We have to tell them why behind everything.
Yes. That does make sense. So,
Wow.
how have people received you? How have people received the podcast?
Uh, I think I think that tier one, because India is segmented in three tiers, tier one, tier two, tier three. Tier
Mm-hmm.
one is very receptive to it. Tier two is looking forward to it. Tier three, I haven't worked on penetrating yet because
Mm-hmm.
it's the tier three would are more spiritually inclined, superstitious in their beliefs. So it's very hard to penetrate that segment first. So we did not try to go into that segment yet. But
Mm-hmm.
tier one is pretty receptive. They're aligned, they're inclined.
Are
Uh,
they mostly younger?
I would say 35 to 45.
Yeah. Hmm.
So the ones who have the awareness, the ones who are reading stuff, but they don't know where to go.
Right.
And therapy, I think people go to therapy only for two reasons in India. Is it a trend or a taboo? So break the taboo or trend.
Good thing. Okay. Hmm.
It's the need of the hour, but
Interesting.
it has to be trending.
That's interesting. But I
Yeah.
love that you're doing that because it's
It's
the,
a hard work.
I'm
It's
sure.
very, very, very hard work because the you cannot use the concepts, you cannot use the jargons. There are a lot of do not do this, do not say this, do not make them feel this, do not, you do not reject their things. There are a lot of like it's a culturally diverse country. Like you have the mindset from level 1 to level 100, and to get into that and form something which you can make them understand, which you can make them feel that this is going to help you
Hmm.
to get more maturity, learn a new language to
Hmm.
manage your relationship. So you need to come up with it. Just doesn't go like right there. Like this is what is happening, set boundaries. It's not like ABC. You have to
Right.
write that. So I'm learning to write the ABC. I'm learning the language that I can teach them to
Hmm.
learn this relational language.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, thank
So
goodness they have you.
let's see,
But,
let's see
but,
how it goes.
but I think that it's really important work that you're doing. I mean,
I, because I think that the conflict is not in unidirectional. If I talk about couples dynamics, it's not unidirectional, right? It's not like two couples, like husband is fighting with wife.
Mhm.
No, it's about in-laws getting into it.
Yeah,
It's about the patriarchy.
yeah.
It's about learned and learned patterns.
Hmm. Hmm.
And in all of this, we have to make sure that everyone remains collective.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
cannot just talk about women empowerment,
Hmm.
because when you're empowering women, you have to empower them in such a way that they empower the entire family. Otherwise, they're singled out.
Mm. Interesting. That makes perfect sense.
So you can tell them to leave it, leave them. This is not, if that's the case, every woman in India will have to leave their family.
Now, if someone did something like that, culturally, would it be looked, they would look down at the
A
person,
100%.
I would think, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because family's very important. And
I mean, divorce is taboo. There's this like, and that is why one of the reason I came up with this name is, what's the big deal if you're divorced? What's
hmm.
the big deal if you are, you know, for example, if you have some health issues, let's say if you have a leukoderma, what's the big deal?
Hmm.
Entitled to have a good life.
Hmm.
If you're a single woman, for example, let me give you this classic example. I was just talking to my team yesterday that we need to work on this content a little bit. When a man is caught cheating, a woman is asked to give them one chance. When a
Hmm.
woman is caught cheating in a relationship, she's looked down and the man is asked to leave her.
Hmm. Very, yeah, different. Interesting.
We talk about equality,
Hmm.
but at the same time, is there really any sort of equality?
Not when you tell me that, no.
When you use that word, so I have had so many friends or so many people that I met in India who is like, oh my God, my in-laws are really good, they allow me to work.
Hmm. Wow.
And they're so happy with that singular feeling that they're allowed to work. And the thought came in my mind, you using the word you allow me to
Allowed.
work, is
Right.
that even equality? Do we say the women in our family are so good that they allow men to work?
Right.
So we have to, it's way behind,
Mm.
Jessica.
Yeah.
It's not that we are there yet. We have not even started yet.
Hmm. but you are it up. You're giving people potential,
Yeah.
It's good, but I can see it's hard work.
It's hard work. I need platforms like this. Like, I need, thank you so much for giving me this platform to talk about it. And with this, if people connect with me, they're going to see this podcast, they're going to learn something, they're going to see that we talk about, in India people grab the Western trends.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they grabbing this?
Mm-hmm.
This is important. Mental health is important.
Vital, actually, life or death.
It's life or death. Absolutely. I heard your first episode. I don't want to repeat that, but
Mhm.
I heard your first episode. It's life or death.
For death. Yep, that's right.
And people choose to commit suicide, but to come out and say that I'm not well. And I don't blame them for it. I think it's the society, because the moment you are vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I learned. The moment
Mm-hmm.
you're vulnerable, you're considered to be weak. This lamb that, I call this, so I don't know, I have this mug. This is the logo of our brand. The
Mm-hmm.
black spot is a black stain. The moment
Mm-hmm.
you show vulnerability, we call it as kala dabba. Kala is black, dabba is a spot. So
Mm-hmm.
people put that kala dabba,
Mm-hmm.
black stain, on your character. If you're divorced, if you're caught
Mm-hmm.
cheating, if you have some health issues, there is no second chance. Let's say you were in debt, you tried to commit suicide, or merely you are just depressed or anxious or not able to manage your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you get. This is the badge.
Wow. Brilliant, though.
So I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? You have this badge, everyone has it. It's
Mm.
just invisible.
So what's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
Yeah, I love that.
Like, embrace your badge, work on it, find your
Mm-hmm.
traitors,
Mm-hmm.
show empathy towards
Well,
others.
so you're not defined by your badge. That's only a part of you.
It's a part of
It's
you.
not you, it's a part of you. It's a piece.
Yeah.
It's a learning piece. It's a
I was just talking to somebody. I was talking to my husband. Like, part of me is a little humorous. Like, I feel like psychology together is so humorous. So I was telling my husband, like, you know what? I'm thinking of a framework of my work that I'm doing. I'm working on this thesis, modern love, how to manage modern love in traditional family system. So I'm like, I'm
mm,
thinking of this framework. I'm not there yet. And all of a sudden, like, we were just talking about Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm not sure if you want to put this on the episode, but this is great. You can keep it if you like it, keep it. So I was like, this is great. You know what I'm thinking? Like, get them, get all these people who are in your head and get them out of your head and just be
mm,
you, and
mm-hmm.
just get those people who are giving you all these black spots,
Yeah,
and you're just wearing it. But I would say just wear it with pride. Like, I'm colorful, like,
I
I
love
have these
that.
black spots, and this is beautiful, this is what
Because it's part of
defines me.
you.
Yeah, this is what defines me.
So it's beautiful because look, even the traitor within, you're not supposed to hate the traitor within. It's part of you. It has compassion. It had a purpose. It loved you. It tried to help. It's
But that is again a very good point, Jessica, you bring. You just need to balance your traitor within.
mm-hmm,
So, not that I don't avoid all the time. Let
mm-hmm,
me tell you that I've just learned to stay silent where
mm-hmm,
it is needed to be. I've
mm-hmm,
understood silence is also a language.
yes, it is. Absolutely.
And being silent, you can tell a lot of things.
Mm-hmm,
But that silence, when you use to let other people think or imagine what you're thinking or assume what you're thinking, then it is not a language.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I think I just want to go back to where we started. And I want people to know, like the Indian crowd or anybody who comes from traditional family, that in our house, we are taught we didn't fight, right? In our house, we didn't fight. We just stopped talking, and we call that respect. But that is not really the respect.
mm-hmm,
My house, we did the same thing. In my house, we didn't fight. We just stopped talking to each other, and we call that respect. And that is the traitor I actually nourished and nurtured, which is wrong, guys. Don't do that.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then mm, there's another thing that I learned is, if you grew up in the family where nobody said, I'm sorry,
mm-hmm.
You probably don't know how to say it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I see a lot of couples, Jessica, complain that, he never says sorry or she never says sorry. And I just want them to understand that, have a bit of empathy for them, because they never learned how to say sorry. So with the therapy, you can also learn to say sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I did not learn to say sorry because I never saw my parents say sorry. My mom probably did. Mom probably did, but that was in the closed doors. So I never learned how to say sorry. All I learned is stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was hard when the first time I had to say sorry, I felt like I was crushing my ego.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense for what you saw growing up.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
then it's magical to say sorry. Like my husband initially, it just reminds me something. He's like, you can't take criticism. You can't say sorry. But I started believing in him a little bit more, because when he pointed these things out, and over here I'm thinking that that was not my intention. I'm just trying to prove myself.
Mhm,
I'm just defending myself. I'm not
mhm,
trying to hurt you. I'm just proving my point.
mhm.
But
Right.
sometimes you just have to walk away by agree to disagree,
Yes.
apologize for the hurt that
Mhm.
you caused,
Right.
intentionally or unintentionally.
Right. Yeah, well, part of that's the empathy, the ability to understand that maybe you were brought up differently, you don't, but then
Yeah.
you have to hear and listen to what the other person is saying and understand what they're feeling. It may not be something that you grew up on,
Yeah.
but they're telling you, you're hurting me. And
Yeah. And the final thing I would like to tell people is, stonewalling is not that you're strong.
mhm,
It happens because you're scared.
mhm,
So if you get that awareness, you're scared of a lot of things. You're scared of your ego. You're scared of your vulnerabilities. You're scared because you are scared of winning that fight. You're scared because you know the other person, if you engage into conversation, the other person is right. You're scared of telling yourself that the other person is right.
mhm,
You're scared that you know that you're wrong in this. So you would
mhm,
rather draw a line. Like you'd rather stonewall. You'd rather avoid that.
mhm. Fascinating. But
Yeah. So stonewalling is not showing you that you're strong. So, stonewalling is not giving you the power control. In fact, it is one of the four horsemen of Gottman actually says that stonewalling is the classic predictor of distance in the relationship.
mhm,
So don't stonewall. Yeah.
great advice.
Yes. So I think pretty much I think we covered a lot actually. I don't want to go through the document or anything that she uh, mm,
And we could speak again, if there's in the future, if you decide. Okay, and just we're gonna in show notes, I'm gonna put in how do people can find you and your podcast. And but before we end, is
yes.
there? Please let us know how to find you.
Sure, yeah. Is it recorded? I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so there's link in bio on my Instagram page. My Instagram page is Pinkal Panchal. Of course, I'll just give you all of that detail, but there's link in bio. There's a tab called Meet Pinkal. You can also email me on pinkalpanchal at laurasteelsaidi.com. My DMs are always open to receive text messages. So it's a public account. Drop me a text. One of our team member will reach out to you. We can schedule a one-on-one, connect one-on-one. I'm also planning to have not the master class. I'm not master yet to have a class, but I'm planning to have a round table with Pinkal, or a fireside chat with Pinkal, where you guys can join that. Of course, it will be a not like a group of 100, but maybe 20, 25, or 50 people, which I intend to do every month. You can sign up for that. It is a little paid because our What's a Big Deal is a self-funded organization. So I'm just giving my time so that we can raise some funding for What's the Big Deal. Because as I mentioned, this is not for promotional or anything, but me giving the services to people, if I'm able to collect some fund which I can fund towards what's the big deal in spreading the mental health awareness and fighting the stigma against mental health, that'll be great. So yes, if you follow me on Instagram, Pinkal Panchal, follow What's the Big Deal for all my podcast episodes, and email me, Laura Steele Saidi, pinkelpanchal at laurasteelsaidi.com. I'm also on Psychology Today website, so you can connect me through there as well. Best way to reach me is DM me. I'm active on Instagram, so DM me. If you need immediate response, DM me. Apart from that, look out for my ad campaigns that we're going to run shortly, like Roundtable with Pinkal or Fireside with Pinkal, which is going to be a closed group where you can literally interact with me one on one. It will be confidential, and it's for you guys. There is no, we're not going to record it and put it on as Instagram Reels. So please join that, sign up for that, and yeah, looking forward to platforms like this. So if this is going on air, I my request to the other host who is watching this, I'm happy to interact and spread this awareness, because this is for all those traditional families and all those modern love that is thriving and that is trying to survive in this traditional family system.
Thank you. I am so honored to know you. I am so honored to have you on this podcast, and I would love to do this again in some collaboration in other ways. So, thank you for your vulnerability in telling your story. And
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much. And again, I was getting my hair done this morning, and I just happened to tell that person I'm going on a podcast, and I said, "Who? Which podcast are you going? What is it about? Is it about you?" I said, "No, it is about the traitor within." I was like, "What is that?" So I explained her that, and she's like, "Oh my God, yes, this is the person who always stops me from doing something." I'm like, "This is great." So good luck to you. This is the
thank you.
great initiative. This is the awareness that everyone needs to find that traitor within themselves and fight that traitor, because that's the person probably who's not allowing you to do stuff that you want to.
That's great.